I'm well, thank you. How are you, Dilip?
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Vidya, how are you?
I'm well, Mrs. Billa. How are you?
This is Sudha.
Hi, Jiku. Sudha Pillai, we can see
And
you,
then
but not
also,
see. There you are. We can see that. Thank
Miss
you.
Miss Anna Roy has joined from the NITI. She's advisor NITI, who runs the women platform.
Yeah.
We are getting her as the panelist here. Chandan, bring Miss Anna Roy up there, please.
Hey, I request my 6 conveners of verticals to please stick to their time limit. I'm going to definitely stick to mine. So everyone else.
And Sangeeta, the time limit is?
90 seconds.
Okay.
Thank you.
So 1.5 minutes.
Right. Harjinder, I message Harjinder. I didn't.
Minister's just coming in, ma'am. Minister's just coming in, ma'am.
Yeah, Sangeeta, you're saying something?
Harjinder, I didn't get the name of who you wanted. I'm going to ask you to invite whoever you want.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Afternoon, Sangeeta ji. I don't know whether you can see me, but I've been sitting on the sidelines for a while. This is Smriti Irani. Rajeshri Di, namaste.
Namaste.
You after a very long time.
Yes.
Lovely to see Ms. Fukan again.
Namaste. Lovely to see you again.
So, Smriti ji, good evening. Thank you so much for being here. Namaste. I think we're very happy to have you with us, and we have a packed, not just high profile, but an extremely committed set of participants. So we're so happy to be launching something that we believe is very auspicious. I don't want to say more. Janvi will give the opening, except to just explain in 1 second the concept of the greater 50s. 50%. So while numerically the women's strength in India is only 48%, the impact that women have in so many ways, which is unmeasured, unacknowledged, not quantified, is so much greater than 50%. We chose this name, but the intent is also to make sure that the numbers add up as well. So with that, may I please hand over to the co-chair of this initiative is Harjinder Kaur. She'll be coming in later, but I want to hand over now to Ms. Janvi Fukan, who is the National President of the FICCI Ladies Organization and the Director of ITI.
Warm welcome to all of you today. I'm Janvi Fukan, the 37th National President of FLO, and the first President from FLO Northeast Chapter. FLO is the oldest business chamber for women in South Asia, with over 8,000 members across 17 chapters pan-India. FLO's mission is to foster the spirit of entrepreneurship among women. As an entrepreneur myself, and a firm believer that only economic empowerment of women can lead to an equitable society, I will be working towards this objective, with key initiatives addressing women's lives and livelihoods at the three levels that we work on: the grassroots, the middle level, and the corporate level. FICCI's goal is also to build a strong and powerful network of women leaders to highlight the vital contribution that women make in nation building. Honorable Minister, Srimati Smriti Irani, a very warm welcome to you. I am delighted to have the honor of addressing you virtually for the second time this month, last being 10 days ago, when all the floor was left inspired by the leadership that you bring to both the ministries you hold, the textiles and that of women and child development, both of which impact women's lives and livelihoods. So on behalf of FLO today, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the virtual launch ceremony of the FICCI FLO joint initiative, Empowering the Greater 50%, with the vision of empowering women's inclusion at every level of economy and enterprise. This joint FICCI FLO initiative is designed to create conversation, connect professionals, provide advice to help women achieve career success, as well as focus on critical enablers to create impact. The stated target is to impact the lives of 1 million women in India over the next 12 to 18 months. Thank you. Namaste.
For the next part of our virtual launch ceremony, and to acknowledge the presence of the Honorable Minister, as is the FICCI tradition, and some traditions are very important for us to stay with, on behalf of FICCI and FLO, we're very honored to present a grove of 10 trees to Smriti ji as an acknowledgement of your presence with us at the FICCI FLO Empowering the Greater 50%. So, Ma'am Minister, please do accept this honor from all of us.
Thank you so much, Sangeeta ji.
Moving forward, I'm going to do a brief presentation to just capture some of the concepts. I was very inspired by this book, which was called The Dot That Went for a Walk. And Smriti ji, this book is on its way to you by courier. And I think the poetry, the imagery, and the concept behind it was very powerful. Because what it says is that the dot is a drawing waiting to become a masterpiece. The dot is imagination waiting to unfold. And the dot is a story waiting to be told. A star in the sky, an inspiration. A dot is perspiration. The dot is you, the dot is me. A dot is all this and much more when it goes for a walk. And that symbolic walk, I think, which was captured by the authors, Sharda, Rima, and Lakshmi, really meant that can we enable women to walk out of the shackles of what they've been held for many years, to walk into society, to walk bravely and boldly into corporates, into boards, into business, and still be confident and capable and as warm and caring as they are in their households. So let's enable more than 100,000 women to go for a walk. That's what this is really all about. Let's fill this with our own interpretation of what a dot means to you and what a dot means to me. So as I begin sharing, I just want to say that, you know, as I said earlier, the numbers don't add up and there are the missing women. The economic survey found that 60% of women in India in the productive age were just engaged in housework. Their participation in the actual labor force had reduced from 36% to 23%. And of India's 158 largest companies, women held only 15% of board seats. These figures have moved us. The statistics are important numbers. And we know that there are invisible women contributing to the country, to their families, and to the economy. We need to help them achieve what they can. We must improve the women labor force and the participation, because it's not just the social impact will be tremendous, but even the business impact is estimated if this labor force participation could go up by 10 percentage points. this would add a 770 billion to India's GDP. This is potentially, Smriti ji, the highest relative GDP growth of 18% above business as usual. There is no other impact, no other initiative that can give us this impact. And women and entrepreneurship can generate 150 to 170 million job opportunities. So each one of these is significant, and we're hoping to address them. The idea was to find a methodology to create the vision and let everybody become a part of it. And that's really to empower inclusion at every level of economy and enterprise by focusing on critical enablers to create high impact. The enablers have been divided into initiatives, which when we focus on will help us reach this goal of reaching out to 100,000 women through multi-stakeholder participation and strategic alliances. The idea was not to try and do this alone, but to capture multiple people to focus on different initiatives, which through the surveys we found that were important to women. Moving from education and skill to mentorship and training, strategic partnerships, focusing on the gig economy, and now with the tremendous focus on work from home, this enablement of more women to work in the to come into the formal workplace. Lots of things can happen. We said we must focus on them in a structure so that these are sustainable. FICCI and FLO are partners in this. We are chair and co-chair of this initiative. We have a joint steering committee. We have a series of patrons, and some of those patrons are with us. Ms. Rajshri Birla, thank you for being here and agreeing to be a patron. We have multiple partners, Rotary, TIE, UN Women, Great Places to Work, Micro Mentors, a strong advisory board, and the 6 main pillars, which is mentorship, training for women on corporate boards, mainstreaming the marginalized women, corporate change champions, strategic alliances, and the resources to make all this happen. In this, I'm not going to read out this wonderful list of names of really inspired people, because each one of them are going to be briefly speaking today. But I thank you. I also want to thank our institutional partners, because you are the ones who have enabled us to reach scale and to sustain this years of your work and your focus on this. And while we got into this initiative, we realized that this was a passion with so many people. Some we've reached out to, some we intend to continue to reach out to make this vision become a reality. Besides institutional partners, many industry partners have come forward and signed up. And an industry partner will help in multiple ways, whether it's compliance for women in their workforce or support in different initiatives. And we're truly grateful. And I'm happy to say this number is growing. We couldn't really capture everyone who's committed to be an industry partner. Finally, we intend to work in a structured manner, to have levers, but also to measure what we're doing. And the success of this campaign will be measured by lives of women impacted, by acceleration of women-owned businesses, including MSMEs, and we put a metrics in there, by increase of women in the workforce, by the ratio of women leadership in corporate boards, by empowerment of women at the grassroots level, policy change, and creation of best practices. And this is just the beginning. We know we haven't captured the entire extent of what we can do, but we had to make a beginning. And I'm happy that we have, and I'm thankful to everyone who's enabled this to start. I just want to say that many of you may not have yet reached out to, but please treat this as your own initiative. Please find a way for us to partner. Please get involved in the structure. And a lot of this structure will be enabled by the website, which the team has put forward together. And I want to thank you for it. So the website talks about us, talks about the program, talks about emerging business, methodologies that women can use, and most importantly and significantly, it has options, it has services, it has activities, it has ways that we can work together. And the biggest one is really the business mentoring framework. In the business mentoring framework, we have found that women across the spectrum find themselves not as confident as they could be. So I'm thankful that we tried up with Micro Mentor. The mentorship framework is really the main pillar on which the Greater 50 is working. Here, people can find a mentor or they can be a mentor. And I request everyone listening in today to please volunteer to be a mentor so that you can reach out to women who need to know a little bit about marketing, who need to understand a bit more about how they should create a business plan. It's very easy to become a mentor. All you have to do is log on. If you're an entrepreneur, this is the way entrepreneurs can find adequate talent to help them. And because of Micro Mentor, you just put in the industry or the area where you want to help. Definitely put the language because we want to reach out to a number of people, not necessarily English. Of course, this is a global platform, so you put in India. And once you filter these results, you will find all kinds of mentors. And these are people. So imagine, look at Nitin Jain. He's ready to share details of digital marketing, e-commerce, social media. And he very kindly says that I'm just doing this to help. I don't even want any remuneration. Imagine a small woman running a business. Say she's trying to sell a product. He will teach her how to get onto Amazon, how to create her own website. So there's a wealth of knowledge out there. There's a wealth of people who want to help. And it is really a God-given opportunity for us to find ways to connect these fantastic people. So we help entrepreneurs realize their dreams. We enable people with psychology, with health, with counseling, with business plans. This is really where the website is going to become a foundational capability for us to sustain what we're trying to do and make this something which will live far beyond any of our terms or our lifetimes. I also request corporates to sign up and spread the word to other corporates. Again, like I said, this is just the beginning. Those of you who want to become corporate change champions, here's where the partnership with Great Places to Work comes in as well. Each one of you, please find what suits you, and very quickly we can make this not just an initiative, but a transformational movement which will help women in their lives. With this, I'm going to switch to the presentation by each of the key conveners so that they can, in just a minute, tell you about what they're intending to do. The first convener who I'm requesting is Ms. Chetna Sinha. She actually needs no introduction, but just one word. Mandeshi Foundation has touched the lives of over 500,000 people. And this is something which is unforeseen, unimaginable. Her impact is truly tremendous. Chetna ji, over to you.
Honorable Minister Atik Rani ji, and congratulate to Sangeeta and Jahnavi both. And there are the dignitaries in the audience. Actually, I would just like to say that, you know, when we are talking about women entrepreneurship, and also as Sangeeta, you mentioned about how these women are going to create the jobs. And in this whole thing, the most important thing is that, you know, how there is, like in entrepreneurship, how women has to face so many challenges. अगर किसी महिला को अगर बिजनेस शुरू करना है, तो उसके घर वाले होंगे, अगर सास ससुर हो या माँ बाप हो, उसको पहले ये बोलेंगे कि अगर कुछ घाटा हुआ तो हमें मत बोलना. लेकिन अगर किसी पुरुष को कहा जाए, किसी बेटे को कहा जाए, तो ये कभी भी रिस्पॉन्स नहीं आता है. उसको माँ बाप बोलते हैं कि बेटा आगे बढ़ो, कोई भी प्रॉब्लम होगा तो हम देख लेंगे. जब ये सोसाइटी में ऐसी स्थिति है, तो then I feel very strongly that it is such an important thing to do the hand holding of women. And I'm so grateful, Sangeeta and Jahnavi, that we are bringing this greater 50 in this, taking up the responsibility of hand holding these women entrepreneurs. I would just share how women can really play a significant role in pandemic particularly. We in our Pune district in Maharashtra, where the pandemic is highest, in Pune district, there are so many women who are at home and are stitching masks. In last 30 days, these women have stitched more than 500,000 masks and has provided to communities, industry. And there are no big big manufacturing units were there. It was, everything was like the digital handholding was done, virtually skilling was done, market linkage was done, the raw materials were brought in, licensing was done. So all these things are so important that women get support for this. And this is possible, as Sangeeta, you mentioned in your presentation, that women can get it, either it is online or virtual or directly. But I'm sure that with this leadership, ma'am, leadership with your leadership, Smriti Irani ji, and also with the Greater 50, what we have, FICCI FLO has launched this. I feel very strongly that when in pandemic our women can make 500,000 masks with no big unit, no high support, the just bank linkage and all these support which we need, which we are planning to do it. If we can do that, then I have, like, there are so many people sitting here who have visited Mandeshi Bank. We have provided more than 400 crores of loan to our women. They have stood up. They have proved that they have been successful. And you know what our women tell me? They always tell me, which I want to tell you, never provide poor solutions to poor people. They are smart. They will create job, Sangeeta, as you mentioned. Another thing which I want to say with this Greater 50, particularly Dilip, you came with the title. And I'm so proud that Nana is here, Vidya is here. You all have visited Mandeshi. And I feel now with this leadership in FICCI, I just want to say that these are millions of women who are saying that our courage is the capital. And I feel with this courage, we start this. Congratulate to Sangeeta, congratulate to Janvi. Look forward to work with you all.
Thank you so much, Chetna ji. May I now call Ambassador Meera Shankar, Chairperson of FICCI Women on Corporate Boards Mentorship Program and former Ambassador to Germany and USA. Meera?
Ma'am, we lost her for a minute.
I
She's
think we
trying to
can,
log back.
yeah, we can move to the next. We'll bring her back.
We'll move to the next person and maybe come back to her. Our Corporate Change Champion program is a very exciting one. Dr. Rekha Shetty, MD of Minds Power.
Change Champion program is a program which is a movement, a program which will ensure that women in corporates are able to achieve their highest levels of productivity and happiness. I've been working with Chadda from Intel and with Vinita Bimbet from Flow to create a set of 10 parameters which will be installed in all the corporates which hope to join this movement. We'll provide training, mentorship, hand-holding right through the process of empowerment for women in all areas of their life, including coming back to work after children, managing home and office with the same dexterity, which they have done with far less damage than all of us managed in the past. It is a movement, CCC, which will start first of all by defining great places to work in as a place where, unless women are empowered, it's not a great place to work with. And that's why we are working with that organization to make it one of the important parameters for anybody to be a great place to work in. We want to empower women to achieve their highest potential, both at entry level as well as on their long journey to the boardroom. We want to provide an empowering atmosphere, a creative and innovative atmosphere and skills which will enable women to network, to build bridges, the kind of which have not been possible in the past. This is a do or die program, a program which will ensure that the reduction, the marginalization of even these most visible women in the corporate world leaves India, quits India. And so I welcome every corporate to create steering committees which will ensure that company by company, we provide the atmosphere and the nurturing required to create a wonderful new world for the greater 50%, because empowering the 50% means not only greater profitability, but also greater happiness. Thank you.
Thank you, Rekha. All of you saw on the website how you can register to be a corporate change champion. So I look forward to your involvement there. The next one, I'm very happy to introduce Nivriti Rai. She, as India's head of Intel, she needs no introduction, but her energy, enthusiasm is infectious in the way she just spontaneously adopted this. So thank you, Nivriti, over to you.
Thank you very much, Sangeeta. Since I have 90 seconds, I decided to change my presentation into three questions. The first one is why? And Sangeeta mentioned a little bit, if Indian women were to come with equality in the workforce, we will see 700-800 billion additional, I'm assuming it could be even 1 trillion. If the world saw all the women come with equality, we will see 13 trillion more than China's economy into the world GDP. So that's why. But even more important, the pride and the sense of satisfaction they will get is amazing. That's what I'm here for. So that's my why. Now what? As Sangeeta mentioned, I'm a hardcore technologist, and my explanation also will be in technology. And trust me, it's going to be very simple. So think of two numbers, 1 and 1. If you do 1 multiplied by 1, you get 1. That's the multiple that women are working with in India. The outcome still is 1. What we are working, if there is equality, then we get 1 plus 1 equals to 2. If equality was attained, then the men and women can provide 2 units of work. But what am I trying to do? I'm trying to see how can I create an operation where with the operation 1 becomes more than 2. And to just give you an example, that one operation is exponent. 1 exponent 1 is 2.72. And that's why I am here to look at how do I do it. So that exponent for me is strategic alliance. How do I partner with the ones? I don't want to care about the ones that don't want to support me, but I want to seek out from the government, from the industry, from MSME bodies, from global organizations, people who are looking at supporting. And trust me, if we figure out that exponent for India, there will be people who will be copying exact what India is doing. And my goal is to look at, yes, making masks is great. Making, designer clothes is great. But I want to see if telehealth is important, and Sangeeta is very close to that. Can I use these women, train them on recognizing a red spot, which is a breast cancer, and have them just press the button when they see a red spot? Trust me, that will create so much value, and industry, global orgs, government will all see value. And that's what I'm trying to do, to build alliances with those 50% who want to help women find the exponent with the alliance, such that we can create more value with women coming on board. Thank you very much.
Nivriti, no words to share how your exponential ideas really excite us. So for anything that we need to do, we need to have the right resources. And I thought there was no one better than Dr. Ajit Rangnekar, the former Dean of ISP, to help us put together a resource pool of talent to help us achieve this vision. Ajit?
Thank you, Sangeeta. When many years ago we started, I was very passionate about the fact that, as you rightly said, 50% of our talent pool is not involved. So way back in ISB, we started the 10,000 Women Entrepreneurs Initiative. And we were so excited to see that these women who came from normal, ordinary backgrounds had great ideas, had enormous passion and determination. But just like their male counterparts, they also needed an understanding of the basics of management, of business, marketing, finance, etc. They needed support in legal, secretarial, accounting matters. But unfortunately, in our country,
Lost him, yeah.
Yeah. Ajit?
Go to the next and come back, President.
Yeah, okay. So we're going to quickly move to my co-chair, a dynamic immediate past president of FLO, Harjinder Kaur.
Namaskar. Namaskar, Honorable Minister. On behalf of FLO, I thank President FICCI Dr. Sangeeta Reddy for inviting FLO to partner with FICCI in this very important initiative for empowering the greater 50%. This is a first ever collaboration between FICCI and FLO, and I am confident that we will leverage our mutual strengths and resources to achieve this common goal. It's my honor to be the co-chair for this joint initiative representing FLO. I personally believed that for any woman, wherever she may be in the world, financial independence is the most essential prerequisite to lead a life of dignity. Economic empowerment of women was the main thrust of all my initiatives in my tenure as the president of FLO. Honorable Minister, last year 16 FLO chapters researched and collated a database of 1,200 women entrepreneurs pan-India. These women were street vendors doing tiny businesses like selling tea, savories, vegetables, trinkets, etc. This sample study shed light on one of the most widespread, the most hardworking, yet the most neglected segment of our economy. FLO produced a report called Invisible Women, Bringing Them to the Front, a compilation of 1,200 grassroots women in business. Honorable Minister, you will recall that I apprised you about this study when I met you on a flight from Mumbai to Delhi. It is fortuitous that I have an opportunity to present it to you today. You'll be pleased to know that FLO has also received a very laudatory note from Honorable Finance Minister appreciating our research in the field. It is also heartening to note that for the first time, government has taken cognizance of this category in a stimulus package. The need of the hour is to ensure that the funds reach them and give fillip to the businesses. If we can support these invisible women in the informal sector to participate in the economy, it would be a huge achievement. This could be considered as a major game changer at grassroots level. The motto of FLO is power to empower. And for 36 years, we have worked in the field of women empowerment. Now together with FICCI, we can and we will make an even more significant impact, COVID or no COVID. Stay safe and thank you.
Thank you, Harjinder. Ajit, are you back with us? Okay, so I will just move on. I will conclude this presentation and thank the Honorable Minister for being with us. Priti ji, we look forward to your address, your continued advice and guidance, the support from your ministry, because I cannot forget the day we came to you to discuss this. You just immediately said, I'm with you, what do you want? And I told you that day that I don't think I had ever had that kind of a welcome or a representation from anyone in the government as you gave that day, that spontaneous response. So it's really wonderful to have you here today. Thank you so much for your support. I want to just conclude by saying that I believe each one of us, men and women who are here today, logged in or listening, have been particularly blessed to have the education, the background, the support. I feel thankful to my parents, and I think it's time for us to give back. It's an opportunity for us to give back. It's a blessing for us to give back. So let's find a way to do it. With this, let me hand over now to our past president, Dr. Jyotsna Suri. Jyotsna ji, will you please give your address on the future of women?
Thank you, Sangeeta. Namaskar to all. Thank you all for joining us for the launch of the Greater 50. an initiative by FICCI and FLO. Thank you, Smriti ji, for being with us. Your perseverance and eagerness to learn is inspirational. As we all know, we are going through unprecedented and extremely difficult times. It is said that when the going gets tough, the tough get going. And who can doubt the toughness of women? We are all going to emerge stronger, and we women are going to play a pivotal role in realizing the Prime Minister's vision of an Atmanirbhar Bharat. We have to accelerate the participation and engagement of women in domestic and professional roles, as well as empower women at the grassroots level. Honorable Minister, I mentor FICCI's task force on diversity and inclusion, and we have a focus on gender parity. We also work with the marginalized communities like LGBTQ, which includes trans women. Now, trans women need to be recognized and they need to be mainstreamed. This initiative of FICCI and FLO has to become a movement to help every woman in India to realize her potential and thereby contribute to the nation. Thank you, Smriti ji, for supporting us, and to all the wonderful panelists who have joined us today, as well as the participants who have logged in. We all have to work together to make it happen. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you, Jyotsna ji. Smriti ji, I was told by your office that you'd like to do an interaction. Will you speak first and then interact, or
just give my opening remarks and then quickly take a few questions?
Perfect. Thank you. We have pleasure in inviting the Honorable.
I think if I just reflect on what Harjinder ji had said, that this is the first ever collaboration between FICCI and FLO. That in itself is an indication that such collaborations are possible when women are at the helm of affairs. So at the onset, let me congratulate and express my gratitude towards Dr. Sangeeta Reddy and the entire FICCI team, which has partnered to ensure that the Greater 50 become inspirational stories for the entire globe. My request is only this, that while your team has corporate change champions, while your team has people coming forth with regards to strategic alliances, I think that the quintessential shaping of future, and especially shaping the future of our young girls, is an element that needs equal emphasis. We know that girls today are competitive on equal terms. What I would request of you is to ensure that we extend more and more support to women in science and technology, specifically helping them commercialize innovative ideas or research that they so may have. I also feel that for the first time, I've come together on a platform where women's emancipation is no longer just limited to the fairer gender. The fact that in Sangeeta's presentation, we saw how a gentleman wants to be a mentor, inspiring women so that they can understand alliances with regards to e-commerce platforms, that in itself is an indication that emancipation of opportunities of women is no longer limited to contribution only from women. There was a time when networking was considered a bad word, especially for women. And today, this particular program highlights to us how you have mainstreamed networking and mentorship for women, for which I again reiterate my gratitude. I would say additionally this, that we missed the presentation by Ajit on resource mobilization. That is another important aspect that needs as much attention, as much support as we can garner. I would also extend my appreciation, Sangeeta, to the team members who have designed this concept which also is an outcome-based assessment and engagement. My best wishes yet again, and as I had said in my meeting with you, Sangeeta, whatever you deem fit to be my role in this particular outreach program by FICCI and by FLO, I'm game.
Very much. We couldn't have asked for more. You grasped every concept. You picked up the one point that we're still working on, which is STEM education for young women, but we intend to do it. So we feel particularly happy that we're led by such a fantastic women minister. May I now quickly start on the interaction, calling upon first Ms. Lakshmi Puri, who's a patron of the Greater 50, who's the former Assistant General of the United Nations, Deputy Executive Director, United Nations Women, and former Ambassador to India. Lakshmi ji, your question or interaction with Ms. Smriti, please.
Thank you, Sangeeta ji. It's my pleasure to have been associated with this. And Honorable Minister, thank you for your support and inspiration to this initiative. I just wanted to quickly make a few points. The first of them is, of course, you will also guide us, Honorable Minister, on how the government can play a role in this initiative, or how this initiative can tap the government's resources and also programs. And there I wanted to in particular mention that this whole initiative started just before the lockdown, and then COVID came. Now COVID has provided a new context, and we can use this to really create a new normal, as we keep talking about the gender equality normal, and how women can be participating in the workforce and in entrepreneurship and in the economy in an exponential way, as was mentioned. Now, one of the things that came out of this creative destruction moment is the Atmanirbhar Bharat program or Abhiyan of the Prime Minister, which was referred to. And under that, I think the major initiatives that are meant on one hand for the grassroots women, I think that should be supported. And this initiative is also meant to support grassroots women, the poor, so the Garib programs and all the other programs for migrant women workers, for all those categories of displaced and also most disadvantaged. I think this program should also support that. Second thing, very quickly, I want to mention is that government procurement is something that will really help if we can have gender responsive government procurement. And also the third part is, and gender responsive means giving the sourcing. And also Prime Minister has emphasized local supply chains. Local supply chains and local to national and national to global supply chains. I think we must really emphasize how we can help women drive those local supply chains. Third point, very quickly, sectors. We have gender intensive or women intensive sectors like textiles, but also I think the care economy. How can we organize that sector? That will generate 1 billion jobs. Healthcare sector, now I think that is a very major sector, and many other important non-traditional sectors also, and social service sector. I think this has a huge potential and scaling. That's it. Thank you. And
Thank you.
Just
to respond.
Please, go ahead.
I think that this is an opportunity to build back better and not limit women's empowerment financially to just entry-level jobs or to small enterprise. I think that we can leverage technology to ensure that wherever we have segregated manufacturing opportunities, women's groups, which are anyways coming together under the umbrella of self-help groups, can now leverage technology to come together and see which part of the supply chain that they can become a effective contributor to. And then instead of women growing in silos, we can create clusters of efficacy, clusters of better productivity, clusters of better products. I also feel that the Prime Minister had launched the Champions Portal under the MSME ministry. And I feel that if somebody from FICCI who's manning the technical part of this particular initiative can dovetail or collaborate with the Champions Portal, that is an aspect, I think, where we can see a bridging of efforts between government and FICCI. As you all know, there's a 20 lakh crore package which has also been announced, of which special support is being given to females who've come together in self-help groups where the collateral-free loan has gone up from 10 lakhs to 20 lakhs. These are the information, these are the collaborations that I think can enrich the FICCI outreach program. I also feel that when you talk about care economy, I'm glad to share with you that between the Ministry of Women and Child Development and the Ministry of Skills pre-COVID, we'd already designed a process wherein we'd reach out, especially with regards to care economy skill needs, and target women who need to benefit from it or who can have better economic prospects. I feel that today, post-COVID or during COVID, one of the lessons that corporates have understood, that the work from home culture pre-COVID was also looked at from a gender lens. It was presumed that if you work from home, then you are progressing very, very fast towards the sunset of your career. The fact that during COVID, men equally are working from home, that blemish that women had to live with regards to work from home, is something now which has become a fallacy. So I feel that, as Lakshmi ji has said, that one, this is an opportunity where government and the private sector or the development sector can converge efforts, like I said, between Champions Portal and your initiative. Second, care economy is an issue on which we've already worked on, and the Skills Ministry has been advised to look at jobs beyond the non-traditional methodologies that we inspire women in. The use of technology to ensure that our segregated manufacturing and supply chain, especially from a gender perspective, can be leveraged to make opportunities better for women. And I also feel that the procurement, which is to be gender responsive, that is a response that has already been given by the Prime Minister's leadership, where government procurement has, in fact, quantified a certain amount of procurement to be done from female entrepreneurs. The success story of many female entrepreneurs via the GEM portal is something that has now become news items across various newspaper portals. And I'm hoping that, I think, Sangeeta, it's important that your success stories also need to be told. There will be many who will step up from the corporate world, from civil society, to help mentor women, give them better opportunities. But those stories of success, of compassion, of collaboration need to be told as well.
Thank you so much, Priti ji. I want to call upon Ms. Rajshri Birla. Any great initiative needs financial support as well. And I want to thank Ms. Birla for her support. Rajshri ji, would you like to say a few words or ask a question?
Yes. Honorable Priti ji, we are happy that you could take out time and launch this significant initiative. I feel most privileged to be a patron of this, and I am giving my full commitment to help to take this forward, and wish FICCI and all the members and also FLO members all the best. So it's nice that we could have it launched by Smriti ji.
They could have had a better patron.
we absolutely couldn't have. Rajshri ji, thank you so much for your continuous support and for everything that you do for society. We're very privileged. Our next person will be Naina Lal Kidwai. She's a past president of FICCI as well. Naina ji?
Yes, and Smriti ji, as usual, your comments so insightful. In fact, the work from home remarks are just spot on in terms of how COVID, I do believe, will change the perception of working from home. We do need you as our minister to ensure that this stays the course as we go forward. I just thought that we've had such a wonderful sort of strategic setting set out by the previous speakers that I might just highlight a few challenges that need addressing right away and which could certainly do with your support. First and foremost, I worry about the microfinance sector, where, as you know, the recipients are self-help groups, which are largely women. And a lot of the stories I'm hearing from the grassroots, particularly through some of the work I do in water and sanitation, is particularly worrying on that score. And while the finance ministry, I think, and RBI have begun to understand this, I think we absolutely have to go at it from a gender lens as well. So I just hope that this has your full attention, and we at FICCI would certainly work with you for that. A second area, and it was touched on by Nitin Jain offering himself up as a mentor in the e-commerce field, is e-commerce. I think, the country's sort of engagement and outlook on e-commerce has been ambivalent. We should, in fact, grab the opportunity to see e-commerce as a way of getting women entrepreneurs onto these platforms as they work from home or work in very small groups. And to do this, we need more mentors like Nitin Jain. And again, to give this a gender perspective through your ministry, encouraging e-commerce and encouraging women to get onto that platform and seeing this as a major initiative for the country, making the e-commerce companies partners in this, I believe, would be key. And the third area I would just highlight is the whole area of women in the corporate setup, where Rekha Shetty, Nivriti, many have highlighted the work that we must and can do to create the ecosystem for women. I think it's time we also begin to push for 2 women on boards. Most of the world is at 30% as an ideal figure. The one is an important one, and it has absolutely changed the landscape on the boards, I can tell you. We really now should be looking at enhancing that by pushing for 2, and I'm afraid it will have to be regulatory because it doesn't happen easily otherwise. So that lastly, just the big stresses that women are going to face in sectors like retail, hospitality, as the disruptions from COVID are very real. Just support in helping them reskill and maybe move to fields where, for those that want to be employed, they don't fall out of the workplace because of the current issues they are facing. So that's all from me.
Thank you, Neelaji. As usual, it was quite a pleasure to see you and hear you yet again. I just have 2 interventions to make on the comments that you presented. One, I think that women inherently face a banking and an evaluation bias when they either present a new business plan or talk about expanding their manufacturing capacities, or for that matter, their business capacities. And when I talk about an evaluation bias, I think that it is reflected a lot in science and technology or academia, where women are, and especially when women who are extremely assertive, irrespective of the job that they get done, there is a sense of that aggression is not looked upon very well when it comes to evaluation for promotions. So I think that your corporate change leadership programs, or for that matter, as I had appealed to Sangeeta, are efforts to ensure that academic leadership is also an aspect, and strategic thinking for young girls is an aspect that we can all reflect on. I think that the fears that you've highlighted about saving and reskilling female jobs in various sectors is a pain that I well understand. But I also feel that while we are propagating the use of e-commerce platforms, one of the areas that we need to also additionally focus on is to ensure that women don't become only the users of technology, but start owning technology. And I think that given post-COVID scenarios today, we will need a lot more Indian platforms. We will need a lot more Indian technology solutions. And these are the areas where I think that we need to propagate, that women who come out with these interventions or with such business plans need to be encouraged to own that technology. So yes, the microfinancing aspect challenge that you have flagged is a challenge that the Ministry of Finance is well aware of. And I think that I can only assuage your fears by saying that this is the first time that we have a Prime Minister who speaks about not only women development, but women-led development, giving an emphasis that till such time that we do not ensure that women become equal partners in ensuring development, we cannot reach the heights that we have set for ourselves as economic goals.
Thank you.
Thank you, Smriti ji. Nana, you will be happy to know behind the scenes of this initiative are some unsung heroes. That's Jyoti, Uma, and Bavleen. And three of them actually started the connectivity for e-commerce, Amazon, all the others, for tribal rejuvenation. And they committed to me that, yes, we're going to do the same thing for women. So, Nana, that's going to be well taken care of. But very happily moving to our next speaker is another person who's done a lot to support, you know, the cause of women. She's also quasi-government. So, Anna Roy from Niti Aayog, would you like to? And we're very happy to have you here, Anna. Welcome. Just got a message she was going to join, but in the meanwhile, can I quickly move to another past president, Mr. Rashesh Shah? And between Rashesh and Vidya Shah, the Edelweiss Foundation from Edelweiss has done so much for the cause of women. Rashesh, would you like to speak?
You're on mute, Mr. Shah.
Yeah. First of all, I want to thank everybody on this great initiative.
Nice to see both of you.
Actually, I had a lot of trouble getting into this on my computer, so I am also piggybacking this connection. I think it's appropriate for this forum. So thanks a lot. I think it's a great initiative, and I think even the title, the greater 50% is outstanding. As you know, I was associated in the early days when we started the program for mentoring women board members. This was about 8 years ago, where we started to help a lot of women who have a lot of potential to be independent board members and all, and we realized that corporate India needs a lot of that. The amazing thing I found was no matter how accomplished the women were, how experienced they were, how many things they had achieved in their careers, the wanting to learn was always there. And that, I think I saw a huge difference between a lot of the male board members, the potential male board members and women board members. So I think this also in this entire initiative, I think coaching, mentoring and helping women, I think making them able to learn is going to be an important one. And if there are any programs or initiatives we can do on that, that will be great. And the other one I would say the access to capital for a lot of the women, especially entrepreneurs, is still a big problem in India. I mean, whether it's equity capital, whether it's working capital, I think getting capital is a big issue for most of the women in India. And we should also try and give some ideation to that. Okay, is there a possibility of starting maybe a private equity fund for women entrepreneurs like we have? MFIs does give some credit to a lot of women entrepreneurs through the self-help groups. But can we do something on the equity side also? And I think maybe FICCI and FLO can take some initiative, and we'll be happy to help.
So with this, I'm going to hand over to my co-chair, Harjinder. She will, I think, field 2 questions and then we come to you, ma'am, again. But would you like to respond to Rashesh first?
I think that's great that he got an opportunity to speak. Thank you to Mrs. Shah. But I think that one aspect which I would like, given Rashesh Bhai's background, which may, if you deem fit, be embedded into your program. I think that in my experiences with women entrepreneurs and even women professionals. One issue that has always flummoxed me is the fact that no matter what they do for their businesses, not many then want to control their own personal finance or investment choices. And I think that if there can be an element as to how women can be taught to file their own income tax returns or make their investment choices, or for that matter, control their finances personally. There are a lot of women who get into enterprise, make the money, and then let somebody else handle the money. So if handling of personal finance and investment choices, at least if women know of it, I think that then you come full circle in terms of empowerment.
Okay, perfect. Harjinder, Miss Anna Roy is back, so please call her. Pinky.
Miss Anna Roy, can I request you to please say a few words and ask a question from Honorable Minister if you wish to? Miss Anna Roy?
Anna and I work together, so she needn't ask me a question. She can give us statement.
So thank you, ma'am. It is a honor to be among such accomplished women, and I think many of you know that I am managing the Women Entrepreneurship Platform. So I am a little hurt that Sangeeta has not made WEP a partner to begin with, but she did give us the hope that there will be more such organizations joining. So I look forward to working with FICCI FLO on this. FICCI is already a partner of WEP. And ma'am, on the masking, Chetna has also spoken, and we kind of joined hands with Dastakar and Seva in an initiative called Masking Up with WEP. So I would request your good officers, ma'am, if that can put some help in that. We have a Google form which gives the resources of women who are working out of home and giving them a livelihood during the lockdown. The past 3 months we have been doing it, but we need more people in it, ma'am. So your blessings will go a long way. So I look forward
Anna, what we
to
have done
getting some
is,
help and support from you. Thank
I
you.
can share this with everybody here. What we have done is we have those 10,000 spots across the country where we know our weavers are at. And I think that a bridging of efforts between weaver communities and women's self-group is a win-win for both. And I'm happy to extend our services, our support with regards to the weaving community and the handcraft community to not only our friends in Niti Aayog, but also FICCI, if you so desire to get women entrepreneurs, or for that matter, women who are in the tailoring segment of self-help groups together.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Madam Minister. We have 4 past presidents of FLO also who are there with us today, and you know, these are the past presidents who helped this organization for 36 years, and this is what we are today because of them. So I would like to invite first past president Pinky Reddy here, if she can ask a question, and she's helped us a lot making this initiative and forming the concept of this initiative. Pinky. Miss Pinky Reddy, is she there?
Move on.
In the meantime, I think we'll wait for her to join. In the meantime, I can request the next past president of FLO to please come and give her blessings to this initiative. So can I request Mrs. Mukta Jain, she's past president of FLO, to come and say a few words here. Mrs. Mukta Jain.
Hello, namaste. Namaste. It is a hello. Yeah. Thank you, Harjinder, for giving me this opportunity. And I really think that this is going to go a long way. And I'm very happy and proud to be an active participant and co-leader along with the other women. And I really would be very happy to share all my resources and time to take this forward and make women economically and emotionally complete.
Thank you.
Yeah, because financial independence and emotional independence are very interlinked. So when a woman is economically independent, her emotional quotient is also very, very strong. So it's really going to benefit in a long, long way and in many directions. So it's a great, great initiative, and I'm so happy to be a part of it. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, in fact, I wanted to say that with this initiative, we can probably look at being a factory to the world supply instead of China, because that's what we are targeting now. So if we take women active participation, that's what we can achieve very, very quickly. The Make in India initiative can really make it happen very fast. So with this,
your point is well taken, Ms. Kaur. And I also feel that this is an idea for whose time has come, especially given our capacities currently, especially given, like I said in my opening remarks, our ability to come together, converge our efforts on gender issues. And given that today, just in your opening remarks, you found so many people who want to come forth with support, I think that in itself is a manifestation of the reality that the time for the greater 50 has come.
thank you. Thank you. That's very nice, and that's hope. And we hope sustains life, and we sure India will achieve $5 trillion economy as the Prime Minister has envisaged, even though we are going through tough times of COVID, but we are sure that we will reach where we want to reach. Thank you. With this, can I request the past President Kiran Gera of FLO, Kiran Gera, to please say a few words here. Kiran?
Namaskar, Smriti ji. Namaskar, everybody else. The past president of FICCI president. Smriti ji, I wanted to tell you that I'm on SHWEC. I represent India in SAARC Women Entrepreneurs Chamber, and we had a webinar recently with the SAARC countries where we were talking about what were the initiatives taken by different governments, problems that MSME sector is facing, as well as the problems that the women in the MSME sector were facing, and what are the solutions that different governments were providing. And I thought it was an interesting platform for us to learn and to exchange ideas. And I'm happy to report that clearly India by far is one of the most proactive governments in the SAARC region. And while I listed out all the initiatives that have been taken specifically by the Indian government for various levels of, in the various the deals that have been made, the packages, stimulus packages that have been given, all the countries want us to send them the details that they can. So I must share with you that made me very for my country.
Thank you, Kiranji. That was really kind of you. I think that efforts, when discussed on international forums, bolster, in fact, the courage of many in administration and give us a little bit of solace that people hear us and people have a sense of involvement in the efforts undertaken. I've had the opportunity, courtesy UN Women, in the main body and a platform that they created for gender ministers across the Asia Pacific region to come together and talk about initiatives taken by government. I think that the fact that 1.3 billion plus nation had 80 crore citizens receive 3 months of ration supply, the fact that 200 million women received direct transfers of money into their bank accounts for 3 months, the fact that women received 3 months of free LPG supply, which is clean energy, to their doorstep during lockdown, not only is reflective of the government's resolve to ensure that women get their rights, get the means of a better life, but it's also actually indicative of the machinery of the government, be it the center or the state, which was effective and which was working round the clock to deliver solutions to our citizens. So the Prime Minister for the past 6 years has given time and again an emphasis on cooperative federalism. And I think that these challenging times of COVID have actually brought to light what cooperative federalism can do for a country our size with the kind of diversity that we enjoy.
It was wonderful feeling for me to have put down to the others what my country was doing, and it really made me feel good and proud. I'm glad.
I'm grateful, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Honorable Minister has to leave, so I'll quickly request one more past president of FLO to come and give her best wishes. Mrs. Namita Gautam, Sleep Well Foundation. If I can invite you, and then we'll go for vote of thanks.
Namaskar. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
So, please. Namaskar, Smriti ji, and congratulations, Sangeeta, Janvi, and Harjinder for this great initiative. I am associated with FLO for the last maybe years, and
I think we lost her. I think we lost her. We have Pinky who's joined us back. Pinky, can you quickly come and we want to hear you? Quick, Pinky.
Yeah, one second. Hi, Smriti. Hi, everybody. It's so wonderful to see everybody. It feels like back home. But the credit completely goes to Sangeeta. This is something what I wanted during my year, to do a joint venture between FLO and FICCI. And I think we have all the really solid women together, and see all the men also together. So I think this whole program will come out wonderfully. I'm so proud of you. And Smriti, it's so nice to see you.
Thank you, Pinky. Good to see you.
Thank you. So, since Honorable Minister has to leave, I'll proceed with vote of thanks. And on behalf of FLO and FICCI, I would like to propose the vote of thanks for the very significant.
Allow me to only say this.
Yeah.
I remember the first day Sangeeta walked into my office when she had received the responsibility of FICCI. And I remember when she sat across the table from me, I told her, congratulations for your now holding the chair for one of the most powerful and engaging industry bodies. Unabashedly, I told her that I expect that not only will you lead the charge for industry, but you'll also lead the charge for women. And I'm extremely proud that that is exactly what Sangeeta has done as FICCI president. This is what should show the industry. When you have women at the helm of organizations, they can seek collaborations where none existed. They can dedicate themselves to outcomes that will go beyond their own lifespan within the organization, and that they will dedicate themselves to finding solutions and to addressing detailed challenges. So I think that from the day that Sangeeta Reddy walked into my office to the day that I met Harjinder Kaur on a flight, who was absolutely without a care in the world for other passengers on the flight, extremely excited about the study that FICCI FLO had done. So I think that with the passion with which FICCI and FLO has dedicated itself to this program, I can only say this, that there will come a time where men within the organization will say that we will need a program for us as well. And that is the success that I foresee for this initiative. My gratitude, Sangeeta, to you and your team for this wonderful initiative. And thank you for turning it around in such a short time.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being with us. It's really inspirational, and this is just the beginning. We're going to need a lot of your support to make it a reality. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sangeeta ji, FLO President Janvi wants to say something, the line she wants to say. Janvi, can I have
Janvi?
Yeah.
She's the current FLO President, Smriti ji. Again, a very powerful woman. Janvi,
Yes.
go ahead.
Yes. So I just wanted to share with this great panel that we put together and to the minister that let us tell you that from FLO, we have started work on where Mr. Lakshmi Puri was talking about the grassroots level. We are working towards creating sustainable livelihood for women at the grassroots with implementing partners. And where the urban sector is concerned, what Veena Lal Kidwai has spoken about the e-commerce, we're happy to know that we have taken forward the logistics of this, because we have with us Hey Didi, who's also our member, and we are training young girls and returning migrants who've come back to small towns and villages, that they get onto the logistics platform to expedite the e-commerce. So they are being taught to start driving their bikes and start doing deliveries for the e-commerce companies. So there's a big sector waiting to employ girls, and we at FLO have taken that move ahead.
Congratulations, Janviji. This is something that you shared with me in our earlier interaction. I can only say this. Today's interaction saw some of the most dynamic women in the country come together with support from cross sectors, with support from men as
And I just want to say there are over 570 women watching you, Smriti ji, and we are volunteers. We already got 2 sign-ups. So it's beginning.
Looking forward to 10,000 and 20,000 soon, Sangeeta. Congratulations to you and FLO team.
Yes.
So let me formally
vote of thanks, Harjinder.
Yeah, thank you. And let me formally say a sincere thanks to Shrimati Smriti.
No need to say a formal thank you. Count me as a part of your team now.
We love you and we thank you for saying this, Smriti ji. Thank you so much for being a part of us and for being with us in making this initiative a big one and what we have visioned this initiative to be. Thank you so much. And I also want to, I want to thank Mrs. Chetna Sinha, Ms. Rekha Shetty, Ms. Nivruti Rai, Ms. Meera Shankar for giving their valuable inputs today. Mr. Ajit Rangnekar, we couldn't hear you, but we will look forward to seeing your inputs into this initiative. I would like to thank the ministry, the patrons, the leaders, the conveners, mentors, partner institutions, and industry partners. And a big thank you to the past presidents of FICCI and FLO for gracing us with your presence today and encouraging us. We look forward to your support and guidance always. Thank you everyone, each one of you for joining us. Thank you all the FICCI FLO members, FICCI and FLO members for watching us today and being with us in this wonderful initiative that we started together. Thank you so much, Sangeeta, for making this happen in the end, and we owe this to you. Thank you so
All
much.
the best, everyone. Good luck. The work is just beginning. Many people are waiting for us to help them. So let's go ahead. All the best. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jyotsna ji.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.
And thank you so much, Sangeeta.
Thank you, Sangeeta. Thank you, Harjinder.
And Ramvi, we're in this together. Mrs. Bidla, thank you.
Absolutely. I'm delighted to be here, and the more the better for all of us at all levels. So,
okay. All the best. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Lakshmi ji.